Well, the first signs that it's approaching autumn. The colchicums are beginning to appear. More and more brambles. Well, I just went out with 10 minutes picking brambles. Absolutely amazing, look at the size of them. There's hundreds of them. The Bramley cooking apples continue to increase in size, but they aren't ready for picking yet. They don't come off when you twist them. Oh, lovely colour. This is the weeping ash tree, which was devastated 4 years ago by ash dieback. It seems to be making a remarkable recovery. I'm amazed how much growth they put on each year. I mean, some of these new shoots must be almost 6 feet long. I mean, there is still signs of ash dieback, but see a bit of it there. Those leaves all shrivelling. Every year it seems to do better and better. You can see on this side the damage wrought by ash dieback. Purple hazelnuts. This purple hazel bush. Signs of badger. So we should have been in here and found this wasp's nest. Still a lot of wasps there, but I suspect it's thoroughly enjoyed eating these wasp grubs. I often wonder how they find these things under the ground in the middle of the night. There are lots of these banded snails. Some of them have got very strong bands like this one. Whereas this one, which has climbed up to the top of this stalk, it has almost no bands at all, almost just sort of pale yellow-green. And this rowan tree produced this wonderful mass of bright red berries. Gorgeous. The blackbirds think so as well. There's several different species of oak in here, I think. Just looking at the leaves, some of them are very successful on this slightly alkaline soil, but others less so. These with the small leaves, they're probably Mediterranean type oak. You can see there that it's yellow, and I suspect that's to do with a slight alkaline soil. I think this probably prefers neutral or slightly acid soil. Right, hanging on in. And it's the same with the red oaks. They obviously don't like it. They suffer from lack of chlorophyll. You can see the problem there on that leaf. It's green where the veins are, but in between the veins it's all beginning to go brown. what you need to do is reduce the pH of the soil to 7 or below, which is not easy to do, but we'll give it a go next spring, see if we can improve matters. There's another one of these small-leaved oak trees, and it's struggling a little bit, but this butterfly is the most successful in the garden. Every time you come out there must be at least half a dozen of these whizzing about. They don't often settle, but this one settled on a bramble, which is very good of it. Speckled wood. There's two of them here. This is the other one. A lovely thing. I mean, even before the hazel bushes have produced their nuts for this season, 2023, they're already preparing for next season. These are developing male catkins which will overwinter. Another sure sign of fading summer. The foliage on the Boston ivy is beginning to change, literally producing that wonderful scarlet colour. Well, 2nd of September, the colchicums are all out. A wonderful display. Lots of pollen for insects. Well, the wasps, the badger dugout, they started to rebuild their nest. They're whizzing in and out here. It's Saturday the 2nd of September and it's a nice day. About 20 degrees Celsius. Anyway, the rivers are well down and the fishing is very slow, so time to turn to the neglected garden where there is a lot to do. Hedges need cutting, particularly the yew hedge, and the hawthorn hedge needs its second or final cut for the winter, but today it's weeding. Somewhere underneath there are the strawberries. So on either side you can see where the Roundup has dealt the weeds a major blow. Obviously you can't spray around the plants you want. So I need to weed this patch. There's a courgettes there, and behind that what were the wildflowers or flower garden flowers, and I'm going to take all them out as well. So yeah, quite a lot to do. Well, that's a lot better. I had to stick some sticks in. You couldn't see the strawberry plants. Anyway, just that pile of weeds to cart off. But the next job is to get rid of that lot over there behind the courgettes. So it's this lot here. I mean, it's mainly forget-me-nots. But most of that will come up easily. It's not like as if you're digging out a tree root. Well, just cleared a path up the side of the courgettes. And what's left, this bit here, I'll just see to that with weed killer. Save a lot of hassle. Well, it's not a difficult job, it's just time consuming when you've got other things to do. So, it wasn't a bad afternoon in the garden, that. I'm quite pleased with it. Just have to pick these courgettes now before we end up with 4 marrows. Do you have lots of these? These are courgette plants. There's only 4 of them. And they produce lots of courgettes. Oh, that's really sad. It's a little hedgehog lying on this pile of dead grass. The carrion flies are already on it. A bit of recycling. I wonder why it died. Well, this is the front wall. Self cut, doesn't take long. And this is the back lawn. And 4 fruit trees and a pond. It doesn't take long to cut. Cut around 20 minutes. This is the side garden. Which takes nearly an hour to cut this. Awkward bits on it. My neighbour cut this lawn. There's a ride-on mower. Too many awkward bits in here for a ride-on mower. But anyway, we're down to the last bit. This block is the last of it in the side garden, and then there's just the paths in the woodland to cut. They take about 20 minutes, half an hour to do. So another hour should see it finished. Well, this is all done. And all the paths through the woodland have all been cut. Some of these branches are beginning to encroach on them. I'll wait until the winter time to cut them back. Yeah, masses of these cooking apples, these Bromley cooking apples. But what I've noticed is the weight of these apples here is pulling the tree over. So I have to do something about that. Probably a couple of branches there could do with taking off. You take them off now or take them off later in the winter time. Probably better. Just hope it doesn't collapse in the meantime. It's leaning there. There haven't been as many butterflies this year, particularly small tortoiseshells and peacocks. But these have excelled. Actually 20 in this woodland patch. These speckled wood butterflies. Yeah, have obviously done really, really well. Well, the Boston ivy has obviously enjoyed the air and it's just beginning to turn. Produce that wonderful autumn display. And then all that lighter green stuff up there, which is this year's growth, will all have to be stripped back. It's amazing when you consider that it's just one plant, this. Well, there are the beans. Just a little short row of them there. And they always, I grow them every year. And they always produce a good crop. But this year, it's just gone berserk. you just cannot keep up with them. So the time comes when you have to freeze them. This is the Boston ivy on the gable end of the house. It's just beginning to turn now. And you can see all the new growth there creeping up. And this patch of ivy, which is growing over a fence, is about to produce an amazing crop of flowers. Strange time of year to flower, but they always do at this time of year. It's the one bit I don't cut back, because small birds love roosting in there in the winter time when it's evergreen foliage. Well, yesterday was grass cutting. Today it's hedges. I'm going to cut this yew hedge today. Next door seems to have acquired a dog. And it's an absolutely glorious day. It's about 24 degrees Celsius. A nice breeze. Well, one down. 2 to go. 2 down and 1 to go. It's incredibly hot. Well, there we are, job done. Now it's just a case of raking up all the bits and carting out the garden. Lots of dead leaves under the ash tree. You can see here how ash dieback affects it. You know, you see how the leaves begin to die off and eventually fall off. Whether the branch will survive or not, I don't know. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens next year. Lots of colourful acorns. This sort of almost a peach colour. Some of the hazel bushes are beginning to turn to autumn colours already. We just had 5 days of certainly stinking hot weather, and today is no exception. Now you can see the oaks at the very top of the garden here, or the very bottom of the garden if you like. Coming on a treat. Well, the nuts are beginning to fall now. And woody woodpecker will be jamming them in this hole and giving them a rock all. I'll get the trail camera out and catch him at it, or her at it. And this great mass of brownie apples pulling his tree over. Do a picture. See from that just how big they are. And the buddleia is all but finished flowering. It produces zillions of seeds, which become a real nuisance. We haven't had any hard weather yet. As soon as the frosts come, cold weather comes, the blackbirds will devour these. It doesn't take them long to strip this tree and others in the garden. A lot of berries on. More beans. It's the 7th of September and these French bean plants behind me continuing to churn out beans. I've just frozen, look at that mass of them. I've stuck them in the freezer and there's just as many here. It's only a week. In fact, it's less than a week since I picked the last lot. It's the 13th of September and the last big job of the day is to give these hawthorn hedges a second and final cut. And it's a nice, cool, calm day, so it's an ideal time to do it. It's amazing just how much they've grown since I cut them in June, end of June. Oh, that's them done. Till June next year. All that remains to do is rake up the bits and cart out the garden and burn them. And wasps continuing to pinch my feet bit by bit. Chewing it off to make its nest. Well, the beans are coming to an end, thank goodness. So I'll just leave the pods which are on, I'll just leave them to ripen and dry, and then I'll keep the beans inside to plant next year. They're self-fertilising, these beans, so every year they come true, which is nice. You can see these are all past their best for eating now. All getting very big. And garden strewn with nuts. This is just off this one little branch. There are thousands and thousands of them in the woodland. Together with the acorns, it'll be a real bonanza for the badger and the squirrel and the greater spotted woodpecker and whatever other little furry feathered things live on nuts and acorns. Well, the outdoor tomatoes proved to be a bit of a disaster, but from speaking to other people, they've had very little success with them this year as well. I might just give them another go next year, but probably easier to buy, easier to get them from the shop. Well, our last job in a garden here is to dig up the last of these potatoes, and that's what I'm going to do now. Well, that's okay. Decent size and a decent shape, easy to peel. They just need washing now, which will let clout off. The longer you leave them in, the more likely you are to get blight. See, yeah, this potato is absolutely rotten. And they absolutely stink. Oh, that's them all washed. I just leave them there to dry for a while before I pick them up and put them into boxes and stack them away in the garage. They won't last very long, but they're different from shop bought potatoes. Well, that's it from the garden for a while now. Autumn into winter next. But it's nice to have all the hedges cut and the grass in reasonable order. All the potatoes dug up, all the weeding done. Might be another cutting of grass yet, but that's not too bad. All that remains to do now is to pick up these windfall apples and take them down to this giant pig on my way to fishing. He absolutely loves them. Anyway, from the garden on the 16th of September, take care, I'll see you again, bye bye. I just brought the apples down to this pig and he just suddenly showed up. Yeah. Look. You don't want to get your hand in there. Make the right mess of it. I guess he enjoys it. Hey, look. I'm a bit trapped in the wire.